This video will prepare you for the FTCE English 6 through 12 exam. Today we're going to cover 3 things: what content will be covered on the test and how to study for it, the most likely concepts or themes you'll see on the exam, and we're going to look at a few practice questions. For our full study guide, click the link right here or the one in the description. More information about that at the end of this video. Let's start with Competency 1, English language. Here you'll be tested on the ways in which the English language has developed over time, as well as standard English grammar, usage, conventions, sentences, and more. One of the main foundations of this competency is writing conventions, or the very basic skills necessary for writing to be clear and understandable. Writing conventions include grammar, spelling, capitalization, punctuation, and the differences and similarities of spoken and written English. Here you'll need to know about subject-verb agreement. Present tense verbs should match their subjects in number. Singular subjects use one form of the verb, while plural subjects use another. Abigail runs to the slide. Correct. Abigail run to the slide. Incorrect. Mike and Kelly run the after-school club. Correct. Mike and Kelly runs the after-school club. Incorrect. This is especially challenging for students when indefinite pronouns are the subject of a sentence. Indefinite pronouns are pronouns that refer to a non-specific person, place, or thing. I don't know if everyone has a pencil. Correct. I don't know if everyone have a pencil. Incorrect. Remember, this is only the surface of this competency. Correct grammar conventions also include proper usage of verbs, nouns, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions, and transitional words like furthermore, but also, therefore, and finally. For now, though, let's set our sights on Competency 2, communication skills. This section covers the various forms of writing, like narrative, argumentative, and expository, and the techniques associated with each. You know what this reminds me of? Sunscreen. Different types of sunscreen may achieve different results or use different ingredients, kind of like forms of writing. Now, let's talk about SPF 50. Just kidding. Actually, let's talk about research. Graphic organizers can help students make sense of the information they find. An eye chart is a type of graphic organizer especially used for inquiry and research. There are 3 phases to this method of organizing information: planning, interacting, and integrating/evaluating. The chart has more columns for additional questions and rows for additional sources. This kind of chart can enhance students' abilities to glean information in the content area using known reading strategies. Teach students to work through the process by completing projects in stages. Step 1, develop a research question or questions. These guiding questions should be open-ended and focus on aspects that the student finds most important and interesting about a topic. Research questions should also be multi-leveled and not simple yes or no questions. Step 2, locate reliable sources with information to answer the research questions. Model the process of evaluating sources by providing examples of reliable and unreliable sources to compare and contrast. Point out features that make a source more reliable. Demonstrate the importance of identifying the author of a document, recognizing the formal tone and presentation, and the use of documentation for facts in the text. Step 3, create notes with paraphrased and summarized information from the research. Show many examples of bibliographies and exactly what they represent, especially in upper grades. Teach students that paraphrasing a source still means they must give credit to the author. And finally, step 4, organize the well-documented information into graphic organizers, a visual presentation, and/or use it to write an expository essay. Remember to cite your sources. Woo! Congratulations, you just tackled our largest competency. Next up, Competency 3, literacy processes. This competency dives into effective instructional practices for promoting students' language arts ability. Now, vocabulary development refers to a student's ability to effectively know and use words in their listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Students cannot comprehend material if they don't know the meaning of most of the words. Some related skills include identifying roots, prefixes, and suffixes, using context to infer meaning, and distinguishing between denotative and connotative word meanings. Even though many words are learned indirectly, some vocabulary words, especially those academic in nature, must be taught directly. One strategy that can enhance students' direct vocabulary development is providing ways to actively engage students with new vocabulary. This engagement might include a graphic organizer, such as a simple concept map. The Freyer model, shown here, provides 4 standard boxes around the vocabulary term. Remember, that's only one of many strategies. If you'd like a comprehensive list, 240 Study Guide has you covered. Another one down. Now on to Competency 4, Literacy and Informational Texts. This is all about analyzing a range of text across genres, authors, and literary periods, including key elements of literary texts. This competency lets students see literature more clearly. You may need to identify or determine the meaning of figurative language. Figurative language refers to words and phrases that enhance a piece of writing, often by going beyond their literal meanings. You can identify figurative language with reference or purpose-driven phrases, such as the phrase X most likely refers to. In line N, X refers to which of the following. The author uses the phrase X to convey, or the reference to X serves the purpose of. To interpret figurative language, first identify which type of figurative language is being used. And remember, context matters. Even if a choice might be the meaning of a given phrase, it has to be the meaning within the passage. Ask yourself, what message is the author trying to get across? It's often related to the main idea of the entire passage. Great work. You're almost there. Keep it up. Now we've reached Competency 5, Listening, Viewing, Speaking, and Presenting. You'll be tested on the concepts listed in the name of this competency, specifically the strategies necessary for teaching these concepts. A big focus here is oral presentation skills. Students need to understand the different purposes why they listen or speak, and how these come from the different people they're listening or speaking to. For example, when speaking to the principal, a student would want to make sure to use a respectful tone and avoid slang. Or when giving a research presentation, students would need to use vocabulary their peers can understand and be sure to explain topics that may be new. Teaching students to evaluate a speaker's presentation skills early on will help develop their sense of what good presentation and speaking skills are. Ask students to identify what the speaker did well or what areas of the presentation could use work. Wow, another skill down. I can almost hear the seagulls. But before our beach day, we still have Competency 6, Pedagogical Content. Here, you'll need to know what appropriate and evidence-driven instructional practices you'll need in the classroom. Evaluating student writing should encompass several skills, including spelling, grammar, and other conventions of standard English concepts of print awareness and the ability to write for different purposes and audiences. Evaluating student writing allows teachers to address many common areas of need, which can be seen in this chart. Take a look at the skills and ways to assess and address them. For example, encoding skills, or spelling, can be assessed through spelling inventories, writing samples, proofreading assessments. And problems can be addressed through reviewing orthographic patterns, Elkonin boxes, or sound boxes. And that's just one area. We're almost ready to step into the sand and sunshine now. Let's move on to our final competency, Competency 7, assessments. Here, you'll need to know what appropriate and evidence-driven instructional practices you'll need in the classroom. Assessments are used for many purposes in a classroom. Teachers need to know if what they're doing is working. To find out, they must assess their students and adjust accordingly. Teachers should use assessment data to make instructional adjustments. For example, if the class struggled, the teacher should re-teach using a different approach. If the class mastered all but a small portion of the assessment, the specific skill or concept should be retaught. If the class demonstrates mastery, teachers should move on or increase the challenge level. Don't forget to use a variety of assessment methods when collecting student data and evaluating performance. This allows students with diverse needs to have multiple opportunities and formats to demonstrate their knowledge. Next up are practice questions. Together, we'll tackle 7 questions similar to those on the test. Ready? Here we go. Mary is whom found the token. Which of the following revisions fixes the grammatical error? The subject of the sentence is Mary. The object of the sentence is the token. Whom is used to refer to the object of a sentence. Who is used to refer to the subject of a sentence. So our correct answer is C. This whom refers to the subject of the sentence, so who should be used. Next up, which of the following methods would be best for a teacher to show his students how to identify credible sources for scientific research? We're looking for an activity that is engaging and allows students to learn how to identify credible sources, then apply that knowledge to their search for sources about their given topic. Therefore, the correct answer is A. Great job. Keep it up. Why is it important to expose students to new vocabulary words in multiple contexts? Research has shown the importance of using varied context for students when teaching new vocabulary words. Students are more likely to remember a word's meaning if they have experienced it in multiple contexts. That means the answer is D. Question number 4 next. The phrase, "a picture is worth 1,000 words" means what? Well, this is an idiom describing the way a viewer can construct meaning from a photograph in the same way an author would need hundreds of words to convey the same meaning. So our answer is B. Which of the following is the biggest benefit of requiring oral presentations for students? In other words, what are the primary purposes of having students speak orally? Or the most important aspects of oral language? The correct answer is D. 2 more left. I can hear the ocean waves. An elementary student wrote the following essay in response to the prompt. Write about the best day you ever had. Which of the following transition words should be added to the beginning of sentence 6 to improve the narrative flow? Go ahead and read through the student's response. Now, on to the right answer. It is A. The transitional phrase "at night" clarifies when the student made the s'mores, illustrating how the story progresses through time. Last one. An 8th grade language arts teacher has administered an assessment on complex grammar concepts. While 60% of the class demonstrated mastery, 40% of the class did not understand the main concepts. Which of the following first steps should the teacher take based on this data? When considering this question, ask yourself, which answer utilizes the assessment to make instructional choices and changes for the students? The answer is A again. Look at that, you've officially prepared for your FTCE English 6 through 12 exam. Now, go enjoy your day at the beach. Congratulations on finishing the video. If you found it helpful, give it a like. There is still plenty more to learn. Did you know that our study guide has hundreds of practice questions? If you really want to make sure you're prepared for the FTCE English 6 through 12 exam, take the next step and subscribe to the 240 Study Guide. It has hours of videos so you can watch and or listen while doing chores. It's test aligned so you know precisely what you need to study. And it has hundreds of practice questions so you can be sure you're ready. And it has the money back guarantee. So click the link below right now to get started.